You're listening to the Board Game Snobs podcast, a ridiculous podcast with ridiculous hosts that discuss ridiculous things. And any mention of board games is purely coincidental. And so, without further ado, and with a heavy dollop of shame and embarrassment on my part, I give you the Board Game Snobs.
And go.
Coming from Tulsa town, I'm recording remotely with the Board Game Snobs. This is the Board Game Snobs podcast. This is Jerry.
This is Gobby. Greetings and salutations.
Now, I need to be clear. I'm the one in Tulsa town. You're recording from your home.
I'm at home.
Hampton Inn and Suites, which is why my audio probably sounds weird. Because quality internet's not really the thing at the Hampton Inn and Suites. Unless you pay that extra $7, and I ain't doing that. But
it's fine.
I'm away from home.
You sound fine.
It's fine.
You'll do.
Good. It's good. I guess I should explain since I've been spending. Basically, I've discovered something. Since I've been spending more and more time away from home because my job has now transferred me up to the great town of Tulsa. I'm the new king of Tulsa. What is that? What's the Steven? Not Steven Seagal.
Sylvester Stallone. Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone. I get them mixed up for some reason. Is that Tulsa King?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. It was recorded in Oklahoma City. Yeah. So I've been up here like 3 or 4 days a week, living in my new home, and I've discovered something.
Oil.
I'm not. Well, no, not oil. If I discovered oil, I wouldn't be here. I've discovered the key to feeling comfortable. You know, because I'm a creature of habit, and having to sleep in a Hampton Inn, 4 nights a week, being away from my wife, my cat, Pierre, and my 2 dogs.
It should have been Pierre.
No, it's Jean-Luc Pierre.
Ah, okay.
He speaks with the French. He says Pierre. And he kills stuff. He drags squirrels out of trees. He's very violent. Needless to say, I'm out of my comfort zone, and I've discovered the way to stay comfortable is to lie to yourself.
How so?
I don't know why nobody told me this. Just lie to yourself. So I have just told myself that this is it now. This is where I live. I live at the Hampton Inn and Suites, and it's fine. And anytime I'm discomforted by something, I just go, well, no, this is what it is now. And you like it. You love it, Jerry. You love it.
So when people are walking down the balcony, are you on first floor, second floor?
I stay in the same room every time because I am friends with the manager now.
Is that first floor, second? How many floors are we talking? Is this a motel with only 2 floors?
There's 5, I believe, possibly 6 floors.
Ooh,
it's an inn and suite. Yeah, so now there's 6. I always stay on the second floor. I like staying not on the first, but not so high enough that I couldn't jump and survive and be able to then scamper away.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so like, in firefighting, they always taught us how to bail out of a window,
tuck and roll.
Rappel out of Well, yeah, and so you could bail out of something. So 2 stories ain't nothing.
You might hurt an ankle.
2 stories. I could tie all my underwear together and rappel down. I have strong underwear.
Do you think you'd have to rappel, or could you not just jump?
Anybody could. There's people have been jumped from like 4 stories and been all right. Omar from The Wire, the true, the real Omar, who it was based on, I think he jumped from like 4 or 5 stories. Somebody fact check that and email us at boardgamesnobs@gmail.com if you enjoyed all 4 seasons of The Wire. But yeah, you can jump from 2 stories and be all right. I almost fell from 3 stories one time. Came like 6 inches away from like plunging to my death. But yeah, anyways. So the Hampton Inn and Suites, what I have done to really solidify myself as a patron, because like every time I see the same people every week. I'm like, I'll see you next week. I'll be back, type thing. And fortunately, the manager the manager here is Buddy. His name is literally Buddy. At least that's what his name tag says. And I always request the same room, and he always does his best to accommodate because I like to have the normalcy of it. And the continental breakfast staff, the people who come in and make little fake eggs and everything, they have now gotten so used to seeing me that one morning, last time I was here, I was just standing around looking at the hard-boiled eggs and not wanting to eat said hard-boiled eggs. And one of the staff members come out and said, "Would you like us to fry you an egg?" I'm like, do y'all have fried eggs? They're like, "No, but we'll fry you one." And they went back in the kitchen. They fried me an egg.
Oh,
it was
very
disgusting,
nice. Wow.
But it was a thought that counted. But hey, listen, it was a thought that counts. And so I've just been making friends here in the Tulsa area. And yeah, it's going well.
And you're there for work. You're not like on the lam or anything.
No. I am there are no current active warrants or any reason for me to be fleeing. If I was going to flee somewhere, I was thinking about this the other day. Good that you brought this up. If I was internationally wanted, can you not just like shave your head? Wouldn't it be the best idea just to like shave your head or your face or whatever, change something about yourself radically, and just go hide in the most common area? Just move to Ohio or somewhere and just start a regular job and go about your business? Yeah,
seems like that would be the way to go.
I mean, okay, float this out here for you. Why couldn't Bin Laden just shaved his head and just moved to Scranton, Pennsylvania, and worked at Dunder Mifflin, and nobody recognized him?
He wanted to stay true to himself.
I'm just saying, like, how could you not get away with something like that?
You could.
Besides DNA, I don't know. I just wonder about that. I really think it's the more where people know where you're at, more risk you have of getting busted. That's just my thinking. Another fun fact I learned. Oh, go ahead.
No, well, I was just going to say, speaking of people that have been wondering how things have been going, we had an email from longtime listener Lindsay.
I remember Lindsay.
Lindsay says, "Hi, Snobs. It's been a while since I listened to your podcast, mostly because my drive to work is only 5 minutes now, and historically, I listened in during my commuting hours. I've been listening more recently, and it's comforting to know that Jerry is still body-shaming people, and Gabi's still coming up with random banter. Every time I hear the new intro music, I tried something different, so shoot me."
I don't like it.
It sounds, you don't even listen. It sounds like music Donald Trump would play before taking to the podium. Just saying. I hope you both are well. Eric and I moved to Washington from Missouri last year, and he's found a group of people to play games with out here. Lots of Zombicide boxes have been arriving in the mail, and I still am not tired of playing Cascadia. My favorite new game that I've learned recently is Cerebria. I love the theme as well. I hope that Eric and I can go back to BGG Springs sometime, maybe next year, and get to see you all in person again. Wishing you both a great spring. Lindsay. So it was nice to hear from her because, sometimes I wonder about retention level. You ever wonder about the retention level of podcasting? How many people listen that have started from the beginning? How long do they listen? At what time do they give up on listening? Is there something specific that made them give up on listening? Have you quit listening? Have you come back to listening? Questions like that. Like the guy that we first sent our first game to that emailed us, Captain Croc or Kirk or whatever his name was. Maybe it was Grok.
I'm pretty sure he died.
Does he still listen? I doubt it. I think people come and go with podcasts. But I'm a little more loyal than that to my podcast. But, I understand life gets in the way. Life finds a way.
I'm pretty sure he died. He died. That's what I like to think.
You like to think he died?
Yes, I would like to think that somebody's so disloyal. The options would be that it's actually better for her. And when you think of it that way, did he really just abandon us that way after us doing such a nice thing to him, or did he die?
Well, I don't know. We did such a nice thing to him because we gave him a game we did not like.
we did a nice thing to him, and he died.
Maybe so. Maybe
Pretty sure he died.
Maybe he died of regret. Like, oh, I should have listened, and this game was not that great. Or maybe he's still listening, and for shame on us, you'll feel bad about the words you've spoken here today. He'll be like, I've been here the whole time, guys. I've been here the whole time. Sometimes I look back on some of our reviews, and I'm like, I wonder if they're still listening. Soul Train, is he still out there? Now, Soul Train did have like a death in the family, and he's been going through some rough stuff, so I allow such things, But, if you not that I allow them. I'm not God. I wish I was, though.
It just sounded like the way that was worded. I'm sorry. It sounded like you allowed him to have a death in the family. That's awful.
Sorry.
Just the wording. I'm the only person that listens to things that was that type of wording for some reason that gets me. Oh, good Lord, Gabby, that's awful.
So, some people, I wonder where they're at these days. Like, let's see here. Oh, the musical chef. Hello. Yeah. I bet you're still listening. He's hate listening.
The musical chef.
He gave us the 1-star review.
Guy.
He gave us a 1-star review.
You need to calm down about the musical chef.
1 year ago, Jaman39 gave us a 5-star review. Bippy17 gave us a 5-star. Ooh, BWit87, another 1-star review. Ooh, Not Cheap Card Gamer for sure, also a 1-star review. Well, apparently some people don't like what we do. And I don't blame them. You do you. But this is what we do.
Hey.
I was thinking, we need to do like a reset episode, because not that we have to do it every time, but like every now and then, just every 50 episodes or so. Be like, all right, hi, my name is Gabby. This is Jerry. Every now and then there's an Enrique. We started off talking about board games. Then we kind of just veered off into tangents. But every now and then we veer back into board gaming. We do reviews usually. A typical podcast is 45 minutes of just talking about whatever the heck comes into our brains. And then we'll do about 10 minutes of a board game review. We used to do, we still do, but it just not as often, but we
used to too.
We used to and still do, and probably will in the future, play a game and then immediately podcast about it. So now there's that board game podcast, Board Game Hot Takes, and that's what they do. And I figure that's what a lot of people have done in the past and maybe still do.
Dollar idea.
And you play a game, then you podcast about it based on that one singular play. Have we played it 50 times to know if that's how we truly feel about the game? No, we think we can get a pretty good idea of how we feel about a game from one good play. I rarely change my mind. I'm stubborn. Jerry rarely changes his mind, that's for sure.
Feel attacked. Why are you shaming me?
I'm not.
I change my mind constantly.
What have you changed your mind about recently?
Well, I'll tell you here in a moment.
All right.
Tyler from Chicagoland just sent me a little sticker on Discord. I do not know how to see said sticker.
That's because you joined as a new person to the group because you had forgot your password or whatever.
Yeah, I figured it out. I'm back on Discord now. I come on Discord.
Why do you like disappear for like months at a time?
I literally forget that I have it. But now that I'm changing my whole being and lifestyle, I'm doing new things.
Okay.
I'm becoming a new person. I'm literally trying to figure things out. And because, for instance, let me see here. Like I just lying to myself. That's how it works. I feel a lot better if I just lie to myself and say, this is fine. And just make myself do things that maybe I don't want to do.
Well, I don't think that's lying. I think that's trying to come to terms with the new reality you live in.
No, it's lying. I'm trying to turn my camera on my laptop. There I am. Do you see me?
No, I'm looking at Audacity right now, but hold.
You better see me.
Hold. Okay, now I do see you.
Thank you. Normally, I don't turn my camera on because, it's weird.
That's a large headboard behind you.
It is a very large headboard, and I am sitting in my underwear here at the Hampton Inn.
I'm glad it's a chest-up camera view.
I have my Proper 12 little bottle of cheap Irish whiskey that I bought at the liquor store across the way.
Is that all you've got? Whiskey-wise?
That's all I got.
Whatever.
Well, I just went over there and bought a little single bottle. I'm
just
looking.
One? Whatever.
Got multiple.
You could go through 4 or 5 of those in one night.
Listen, no, I have a busy schedule this evening.
Oh.
I'm going to work on paperwork, and according to the TV guide, the Equalizer is coming on FX.
Now, is that the Queen Latifah version or the Denzel Washington version?
Oh, you're right. I think it's Denzel. See, I don't have it really. I don't have regular TV at home. Just got Netflix. And so I like it when they do this thing where they take a show and put it on primetime television and cut out half of the movie so you can just watch the cliff notes of it. And Denzel is on. He's the new Shawshank Redemption. They're putting Denzel on all the time. I guess he's producing a lot of stuff right now. Needless to say.
Does that make you feel better? I'm on here as well.
No. Yeah.
Does it comfort you to see my face?
And your room looks very smoky for some reason.
Does it comfort you to see my face?
You look like a Gen Z Twitch streamer.
Well,
I look like
I did my best.
I look like a recently divorced dad who's who's just starting a YouTube channel showing how to fix wood cabinets or something.
This is my new headboard.
Let me show you how to grill. This is how you make a headboard.
Tyler from Chicago, on our podcast topic questions for the Snobs, that's a long title for a channel. Podcast topic questions for the, it doesn't even fit in there. Questions and topics for the Snobs to use as podcast fodder. Tyler from Chicago asked, if you could play games with any famous person, alive or dead, who would it be? Now, it seems like playing a game with a dead person would be one-sided.
It depends. One person, I'm assuming, that could be resurrected.
No, they're dead.
I would like to.
You're playing with the corpse, the bag of bones.
I would like. I can read between the lines.
I'm undefeated against all the dead people.
Take that, Madam Curie.
Einstein. I thought you were a genius, Einstein.
Yeah. Washington. How's that going?
Yeah.
I would play with Napoleon.
Yeah,
not Dynamite.
Dadgummit. That's exactly, I thought of him just because of the strategist.
Mm-hmm.
Part of him.
Strategarians. Those are the really tactical Jerrys of the world.
Strategarians.
That's a good. The Strategarians unite. It's such a bunch of Jerrys that just really good at strategy.
It might be. I thought of Napoleon as well. Actually, the first person that came to my mind when I was really trying to think about it, I was like, okay, so, the first people that come to my mind, because I like movies and TV, it's like, movie stars. And I was thinking I'd like to play with Robin Williams, but then I got to thinking he might get on my nerves because he wouldn't be able to focus.
He would not listen to, he'd be just like playing, kind of like playing you, except funnier. And that would hyper. That would not be good.
Shots fired.
Dorian Phoenix asked, are you a sauce or no sauce guy? Well, it depends. I think that people overdo sauce. I think people put sauce on things and all you can taste is said sauce. I think if the steak is good enough, you don't need steak sauce. And this is coming from somebody who I'm pretty sure I invented pepper ketchup. I called it pepper ketch back in the day. I was putting pepper. I was doing that in the real.
Back in high school when we used to get served the square pieces of pizza, I would mix ketchup and mustard together for a tangy, zippy, salty dipping sauce.
That's called Braum sauce.
I absolutely am a sauce guy. Now, if it's a good steak, doesn't need sauce. But I will put Louisiana hot sauce on almost everything. And my wife gets very upset with me because she'll make a nice grilled or baked chicken, and then I put hot sauce on it, and she gets angry because she says I seasoned it and it doesn't need that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, but I just love Louisiana hot sauce. I also use ketchup heavily, frequently, with many, many things. Chicken wings, hot wings, I'm a Louisiana hot sauce or Frank's red sauce. Give me the buffalo wing sauce. I love dips. I could eat chips and dip, whether it be ranch, French onion, salsa, guacamole, spinach, avocado.
I don't think some of that's not a sauce. That's a dip.
Well, those are dips, but you can also add them to things as a sauce. You could mix them together. Yesterday we had grilled, my brother-in-law made pulled pork tacos. And we had, onions, cilantro, pico de gallo, salsa. And my wife had made a salsa. There was no sauce per se. Apologies. There was no sauce.
Well,
but I like things. Sauceless. I like things to be moist and wet.
I knew it. Moist. I knew it. Here's the thing. I tried a new sauce for the first time of their evening. We have some friends that just got back from Vietnam. I know I said that like I would
like the war Vietnam. Or
no, they got
that's one slow boat.
I can't because of that. Because of my father, I cannot pronounce Vietnam correctly. It's Vietnam. It's like I can't say it right. They got back from Vietnam, and they also I can't say Vietnamese either. And they made traditional like roast duck, and things of that nature. And they made egg rolls and said, try this sauce. And they referred to it as fish sauce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, there was no fish in said sauce that I was aware of. I may have been mistaken. But the sauce, I was warned that it was very spicy. Apparently, it's quite tangy. And it's only spicy when you catch whatever godforsaken pepper that they have chopped up in it. So for the most part, you're just eating this very tangy and really, really kind of a very interesting dipping sauce until by accident you catch one of these little pepper pieces that make you regret your decisions. And so it's this weird thing of having this really tangy little dipping thing, and then all of a sudden you're on fire. And it was so good. I ate 3 egg rolls. And I'm not a huge egg roll fan.
Now, see, egg rolls, I eat dry. I don't eat with sauce. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So I primarily, though, if there's a sauce available, like tacos, burritos, I need something on there, salsa or taco sauce or something. But your fish sauce, I've seen that quite frequently, and I think it's predominant with Asian foods. It says it's made mostly of fish, salt, and sugar fermented to create a liquid sauce. The fish is typically anchovies, but other fish like shrimp can also be used. I don't like fish sauce, but I think
this was delightful.
I don't know if they use that in kimchi or not. Probably not. I don't know, but I don't generally like anything fishy. I'm not a fishy guy. I don't like seafood. I'll eat some fried catfish. I'll eat some fried cod from Captain D's or Long John Silver. But I'm not a fish guy. I'm not a merman.
Speaking of fish, made me think of something completely unrelated. I'm not sure why.
Something suspicious or fishy.
Correct. Okay. This is very fishy. I thought about this today. I almost called you again to express my conspiracy theory. But in the greater Tulsa area, there are some very large and very nice-looking buildings. And in those said buildings occupies a certain type of business that I don't understand why they exist. And so with that type of business in mind, I'm going to ask you a question. And this will tell you what type of business I'm thinking of, but it will also kind of lead you down this path with me of this conspiracy. When was the last time you bought a mattress?
6 years ago?
Yeah. You're not buying mattresses that often.
No.
But there are these huge mattress firms and other mattress places that have no cars in the parking lot. And yet, how do they stay in business with these massive showroom-sized buildings? I think, and I wouldn't say this out loud, allegedly, for legal purposes, but I think this must be a money laundering business.
Just
akin to like the American Candy in Europe.
Or box office promotion.
Exactly. I think this is a complete. Is Mattress Firm owned by the mob or something? Well, because who is buying all these mattresses?
Big Mattress would have you believe you need to buy a mattress every 8 years.
I am on my second mattress.
I don't know.
I am on my 18th year of marriage. 19 coming up quickly. I have bought 2 mattresses in that time period. I feel as if that is enough.
When my wife and I got married, we inherited my in-laws, my parental's mattress.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, so we, it was a king-size mattress. We slept on that for a while, but then I think since then we have had, we're at 25 years of marriage. I think we had 1 king-size mattress, and now we have another set that we just purchased, like I said, 6 years ago. So, yeah, something about dead skin cells, sweat, all that stuff. You're supposed to, I don't know why Big Mattress wants you to buy so many.
I don't know, but there's a lot of businesses that are going to be struggling right now. Have you been reading I'm sure you're watching the tariffs closely and seeing how it's affecting the board game industry.
No, actually, I'm not.
Yeah, okay. Okay. You're not, but apparently, people who own said board game businesses are freaking out because the tariffs are going to raise the price of board games to $100 a game or something like that. Or just put companies out of business unless that becomes suddenly a fixed issue. Needless to say, I think that over the next few years where people are just going to be playing the games that they have rather than purchasing new ones because of the prices of board games. They're going to go up because they're a luxury. They're something that typically doesn't need to exist, I guess, in the greater realms of necessities. And Jamie Steckmeyer is blowing up the internet writing about it. And I'm worried about it myself. I hope it doesn't kill the industry. Not that it would affect us at all. I mean, we don't talk about board games.
Yeah,
5 minutes. It will have zero effect on this podcast.
I would, if I was a board game publisher, I would be invested. I don't know. The reason I don't care is because what am I going to do? There's nothing to do. Because my thought process is I'm just going to have to deal with it. I'm not in a position of great governmental power.
Gubernatorial.
I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to go rioting out in the streets about it. So, whatever happens, happens. And sometimes I've heard them say, this that used to cost $3.50 is now going to cost $4.18. Okay. I understand that's an increase. Things have been increasing my entire life. I'm used to it.
Yeah, your waist. Ooh, see, that got you back.
See, Lindsay.
That was
Lindsay. That's
Lindsay.
There he is.
Right.
He's still at it.
I'm still at it.
Classic Jerry.
Classic. That cad. Just when you think he's changed, he goes back to his old life.
No one has ever thought you've changed.
People have said that all the time. They said, Jerry, how do you change so much?
Never
you changed so much.
You're the same.
You're such a wonderful person. How did you become the?
Yeah. No, the only time you did drink out of your little mini bottle there. The only time you did change is after you got your tumor removed and your irritableness did decrease significantly. I can vouch for that personally.
Shout out to the RIP, my kidney tumor.
So you played a game that you've been telling me all about.
I have played multiple games. I have gamed so much.
We'll just talk about Dark Moon.
I've been cheating on you. I have found people for which they're open for gaming, and I have been gaming with said people. That's just what has happened. I didn't mean for it to happen, but it happened. And I'm deeply sorry, Gabi. I feel like I'm cheating on you.
Did it mean anything? Or was it just gaming?
I'd like to say that it didn't.
But you're not.
But it felt meaningful. Oh, they're texting me right now.
How dare you rub it in my face?
I'd like to think that we have an open relationship, that you can game with whoever you want and I can game with whoever I want, and neither of us become jealous. Agreed?
Agreed. We have an open relationship.
Okay. We have an open relationship, you know? And so there you go.
Sometimes I game with different people. Sometimes you game with different people. But in the end, we always come back together.
So we played a game that I had purchased, another one coming off my my shelf of shame. Another one, Dark Moon. Now, Dark Moon was colloquially termed Battlestar Galactica Express. Like, it's a fast dice game where you're basically doing the same kind of mechanics that are in Battlestar Galactica, except it's not themed that way. It's themed with some generic theme. You're at a base and somebody's infected and you're just rolling dice behind your screen and going, oops, the dice, they didn't give me anything good. And you're placing one of your dice out there that are negative or positive to complete a repair or some other sort of event. And then, you know, you're drawing a card and deciding which card you're going to play. That's going to be the next task that everybody has to donate dice to overcome. And some people are, you know, all the dice are always make you look suspicious. And it's very quick, especially once you know what you're doing. It goes by very, very fast, like an hour with 7 people. And I played this game with some people who are not, I wouldn't say, I always hate to use the term like hardcore board gamers. Because, I mean, they were relatively new to the hobby. They've played some board games. They played your mainstream games. They're new to hobby gaming. Let's put it that way. And like their first hobby game they really played was like Everdell. Included in that was a board game, old G board game fame of Zacchaeus. People may have heard us mention him on all of our Game of Thrones episodes. Yeah, because he beat me at Game of Thrones. Anyways, they absolutely loved Dark Moon, despite the fact that I really thought it was about to flop because I had never read the rule book, didn't know how to play it, taught it, and we played it, and it went really well. They really enjoyed it. So much so that the weekend next, they wanted to play it again, and we did. And Enrique happened to sit in on it. And Enrique had the he had a very similar experience that he always has when he plays hidden trader games. He is the trader. He's so obvious about it. People pick him out, and he spends the rest of the game sulking because he cannot hide that he is the trader. He is also the reason why we sold Battlestar Galactica back in the day for like $40. And now it's like selling for like $300.
What did you think of the first game? You said they enjoyed it.
I was confused by it. I wanted to play it again. And after playing it again, I have deemed it one of these games that I'm glad that I have. It is a great hidden trader game for people who are new. It's like a newer entry level game. Like it doesn't do anything super complicated or super deep. The dice makes everybody look suspicious, and you just do your thing. So, I mean, I could take it or leave it. I'm glad I have it because it's perfect when I have a large group of people who are wanting to play a hidden trader game.
Why do you think that, like, the Battlestar Galactica game still gets talked about, but Dark Moon does not?
Well, because the IP, Battlestar Galactica, they're both out of print, but Battlestar Galactica it's just the IP. I mean, and it's got expansions and all that. And I think that's also what kind of ruined the Dark Moon experience for me is that I've played Den of Wolves, the mega game, and all the big hidden trader games. And so once you've done something like that, and you have all these other games that fit I thought about this later. there is no other genre that has so many solid, quintessential games in it than the Hidden Trader. So, for instance, like right now, the out-of-print Hidden Trader game is Battlestar Galactica. Go spend $300 to get all the expansions in it somewhere. The in-hobby game of Hidden Trader is, depending, do you want to be racist a little bit? Okay, play Secret Hitler. If you want something that's really deep and foreboding, do Clockwork, Blood on the Clockwork, or whatever it's called, Blood on the Clock Tower.
Blood on the Clock Tower.
And then if you just want the good old-fashioned party game version, well, then you have Werewolf and Mafia. And so the Hidden Trader genre, it's there. I mean, it's been captured. And so all the quintessential games are there for what you need. And so that's why I think that Dark Moon, just, its lack of availability, it's good enough to be in the genre, but it doesn't fit any one thing. It's not quintessential in any category. And that's why it just doesn't have the mainstay power, I believe.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I don't really care for that genre. I don't like, there's a traitor amongst you. I thought I did. We played Battlestar Galactica. We had one good game and then one terrible game, as you mentioned. And then, but I still thought I liked them. I'm like, I like the idea of that, not knowing who's what. And then I bought this dice game. I'm trying to search for it in my BG apps thing. It was a dice game, but you're on a ship, and it's all the same thing. It's like you're escaping.
Burke?
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, it's like, are you infected with this alien something or other? And it too was a dice game.
You got alien chlamydia.
Pretty much.
You infected with the alien, whatever.
And it was a real quick game. I think it was like a 30 to 45 minute game. And it was fine. It when it first came out, it got quite a bit of, people talking about it. I think Dice Tower reviewed it, but probably because that's probably why I bought it. It was because when I was first getting into really,
darn you, Tom,
getting into the games and stuff. But yeah, I mean, nobody's heard of Burke's Gambit in 10 years. It's just one of them, these games come and go. Battlestar Galactica, like you say, the only reason people know it's because of the show. Shadows over Camelot. I played that, me and Bruno, and it was god awful. Like, I mean, things have definitely been perfected since then. That's a horrific game. It's so boring. Anyway, but I think my favorite version of that genre would be Mafia. I mean, that's the way I'd prefer to play it.
And it's Mafia's dumbed down enough and quick enough.
Yeah.
That you don't have to take it too seriously.
But to play a 3-hour version of it in the style of Battlestar Galactica, the board game, hard pass.
Yeah. I don't think you would like Dark Moon at all. After playing it a second time, I really thought, no, you're not gonna get into this at all.
Or even what was the card game that was so popular 7 years ago?
That was not Revolution.
Resistance.
Resistance. Yeah.
Yeah, I was all about that too for a hot minute, but I'm over it.
Yeah. It distills down into a yelling
Or the one we do like, me and you, is Murder in Hong Kong.
Murder in Hong Kong, because Murder in Hong Kong isn't so much a
traitor.
Let's figure out what this person is. This person is just I think the distinction there is that the person who is the murderer, they're just not actively trying to destroy something. They're just trying to lightly mislead people.
They're not screwing,
which is great. Yeah. They're just out there just going, hey, well, maybe this.
I don't know. Have you thought about the guy to my left instead?
Yes, I mean, that's basically all that you're doing.
And even we briefly discussed Oink games last week. Insider had that aspect to it. Yes, there's 20 questions. Oh, but here's a guy trying to lead you away from the actual answer. I didn't like that aspect of it.
Yeah. I got to play a 4-player game of Eclipse, again with the same group, with Zach and Enrique was in on this one. And again, Eclipse stays as one of my favorites. And still to this day, every time I play this game, I'm just super impressed. I'll never regret that I sold the first edition and got the Second Dawn and its production value. The only thing it's lacking is like the actual player boards are not like dual layered, double layered, which is fine. But yeah, I love that game with a passion. It's good every time. It's a little long, but it's not like Twilight Imperium long.
But
with experienced players, you can really get it going. And again, another great game. Just love Eclipse. And it's one that comes back into vogue every once in a while, but still, just one of my favorites. Played a bunch of little games too. And, Trio, of course, is always a hit. We talked about the Oink games. I replayed them. That Startup's still good. I purchased a game today. One that I have feelings about. I don't recall what those feelings are. I played it with one Joffrey Pedersen, the newly married, betrothed individual. And I believe you played it as well. Did you play QE with us?
Oh, yeah.
Easing? Yeah. I found it on sale at a local, I think it was the Wizard Asylum here in Tulsa. I found Quantitative Easing, and that's the game where you're basically bidding on stuff, but you're just writing down insane numbers. Nobody knows what anybody else is bidding. You just see what the high bid is, I think, at the end of the game. I can't remember, but it was one of those that was so weird that I didn't know how I felt about it.
Because the numbers don't mean anything.
Yeah, they don't mean anything. It's like, it's just whoever at the end, though, who spent the most money is like the person that's like, oh, no, you're out of the game type thing.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of games that I played with Joffrey, that later I don't know if I like this game. And every one of them that I've liked, I don't know if I like this game. I bought it and then really liked it. Such as, I believe I played Downforce with him. Played it. That's like Jack's favorite game. Scout, bought it. That's a great game. There's several others that come to mind where it's like, I'm not sure if I like this game. I buy it and then play it again. Okay, yeah, I really like it. So finding it on sale, I bought Quantitative Easing. We're going to have another large gathering with a bunch of party games this coming weekend. So I'm upping my party games. I'm buying more and more party games, or really vetting them, I guess. I don't know. I've been playing a lot more party games, and I hate to say that I'm liking them, but I guess I kind of am. Like, I'm enjoying party games more and more. It's weird, as I have gotten older, I'm enjoying partying more. I think it would be the reverse.
You like to party.
I like the party. Very odd.
While you were eclipsing, I was playing a dexterity game called Cornhole, and I realized...
Is that a Reiner Knizia game?
I realized I can only cornhole so much, and then I tire of cornhole. And it also doesn't help when the bags are cheap and...
Throw this bag in it.
They lose... One tore open and whatever. I don't know if there was asbestos in these bags or what, because every time they landed, a powdery puff would.
No, wait a minute. Were these not like camel skin bags?
No, these were like, potato sack bags.
Were they not certified by the American Cornhole Society?
I do not think they were.
If they're not certified by the ACS, do not play with them.
I think they landed and a puff of whatever was in them would come out and got my legs all dusty. I don't know what they had in them, but it was not corn. It was like this gray dust. I don't know what it was.
You're playing Flower Hole.
I was playing Flower Hole apparently, because I don't know what these bags were made of, and then after a while, they became so light. I'm like, we're just throwing napkins. We're just trying to throw these napkins into this hole. It was not good. So I told my brother-in-law he needs to get online or go to a Dick's Sporting Goods or somewhere else that has.
I get my cornhole bags online, and you can buy certain different types, and I made sure to get I think it's camel skin. Somewhere there is a camel missing some skin, I believe.
Camel.
for my cornhole bags, and they're quite decadent.
Luxurious to the touch.
Yes. Also, speaking of outdoor sports, I played pickleball, another vegetable, with Enrique. I'm proud to report, to give everybody an update on Enrique, 2 things. Number 1, he is considering LASIK surgery for his eyes.
Ooh.
Yes, I guess because he's finally decided he wants to get a driver's license and fears that his eyesight will be so bad that he will not be able to drive anyways. The second thing is, and more consequential in the long run, and somewhat concerning, as many people know, Enrique does not wear sleeves. He's particularly sleeveless, short sleeves in the winter at best. But, strangely enough, he always wears jeans. He never, ever have I seen him in a non-jean type pant or pantaloon. I've often berated him and said that his mobility would increase plus 5% in any type of athletic sport if he would switch to some sort of short, especially since the temperature is rising here in Oklahoma. For the first time since knowing this child,
Free
he
the
showed
knees.
up wearing shorts.
Free the
bearing
knees,
the
Enrique.
knees. Yes. I kid you not, his pickleball game improved tenfold. And I swear it's just because of these shorts. So now that he's both sleeveless and not fully panted, it's only a matter of time before he get what clothes will he wear? What else can he lose?
If he gets LASIK surgery, he's going to be a whole new man.
He also, in conversation with me yesterday, he often mentions that he's flat-footed. And I made the comment, are you really flat-footed? Is that just something that you say because of, you're kind of slow, the way that you move? Well, like, why do you say you're flat-footed? He proceeds to take his shoes off and show me. He is indeed flat-footed, as if you were to draw a stick figure, a 2D stick figure on a piece of paper and draw the little feet out to the side. That is how his feet are. He has zero arch in his feet. So no wonder his mobility is reduced.
He should get some arch implants.
I don't know if they can do that. I don't know how you fix flat-footed.
Is there a, like, what is the disadvantage to being flat-footed? I know I always heard, like, you couldn't join the military back in the day.
Right. Well, apparently you can't run, like, at all. Enrique can't hardly run at all. And I did not realize that was due to his flat-footedness, but apparently it is. And I'm not sure that there is. You'd think there'd be they could fix cleft lips, the cleft palate thing. Surely you think they would be able to have some sort of surgery.
Just carve a piece of bone out.
Could you not donate an arch?
Donate your arches. BoardGameSnobs@gmail.com.
Could you donate an arch? Let's
have a drive, a GoFundMe. Donate your arches.
A GoFootMe. Got to get his arches. I'm sure there's some. Speaking of arches, the reason I'm late this evening to record with you here at the Hampton Inn is because I stopped at a shoe store to purchase, or actually try on shoes. There's only one brand of shoes that comfortably fit me. Would you like to guess?
Brooks.
Brooks? No. Wouldn't be caught dead in Brooks. Skechers. The Skechers step in for some reason. Now,
the rockers?
Obviously. Yes. So here's the thing. Obviously.
You're working your glutes at the same time?
I do. But here's the problem. Skechers are ugly. It's hard to find a Skechers that is not atrocious. But they are the most comfortable thing ever. Like, I love Skechers. You slip into them and they're just there. But my God, finding something that doesn't look like it just came. I mean, they're just ugly looking shoes. Either way.
They're a low ranking shoe.
Are they?
Yes.
They're so comfortable. What do you mean low ranking? They're so comfortable.
They're a low ranking shoe. Like Payless.
What do you mean
like a Payless brand. That's like Winner's Choice.
They're very expensive. I'm not sure you know what you're talking about.
Maybe they've kicked it up a notch, but Skechers back in the day were not a quality shoe.
I think that they are.
Everybody now. Thank you to our Patreoners. I recently had to move some funds around to prepare for BGG Spring, etc. And I just want to say, if you want to toss a few dollars in, feel free to touch those links that are in the show notes. And maybe, $1, $5, $10, maybe $100, $1,000, whatever you want to donate. Feel free to do so at patreon.com.
I just noticed it on Discord. You could tell what other people are doing. It says what they're doing. It's very interesting. For instance,
in life,
if you can change your, well, no, it'll show what their status is. For instance, A Woods just says, "Let's get nuts." I don't have no idea what that means. Chad
is going after some cashews.
I believe that. Well, I just came from the cashew store.
Cashew outside
is.
How about that?
Is playing BGA, no doubt playing.
That's what planters should have gotten. Bad Baby, and made that a marketing tool. Cashew outside. How about that? That is a reference that's a good 5 years too late.
Dawn Gilstrap is playing Timberborn. Wonder if that's any good. Mike Heller is painting. Scott Hill is playing GeForce Now. I don't know what that is. So you can see what people are doing.
Discord, all up in your business. Big brother watching.
Discord. I don't want Discord showing what I'm doing. Either way. What else was there?
That's about it. My wife has made tacos and I'm hungry. Keep emailing us. Rate and review on Spotify. Rate and review. Leave a comment on Spotify. Rate and review on Apple. Send us an email. We both prefer emails. They're easier to track. We do have the podcast topic questions for the just whatever. That's a long thread, but basically it's things for us to discuss on the podcast. All right. Well, until next week, I'm Gabi.
This is Jerry.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tolerating this episode of the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.